Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to another video, and I have to go close the window, otherwise we're gonna have all sorts of noises in here that I don't want to have in my video. But I'm too lazy to actually go. So problems, but there's the train coming, so we're gonna do that. So today I'm filming my wrap-up. I again managed to read 3 books. I occasionally manage to do that. And they were all great, and I want to talk about them. And the first of those is The Stone Sky by A.K. Jemisin. This is book 3 in the Broken Earth trilogy. And I just realized how stupid I am, because I always, when I talk about the synopsis of this book, I always say that I think this is Earth in the future, and the trilogy is called Broken Earth. So yes, it takes place on Earth. It's pretty obvious if you just think about it a little bit. But yes, it does take place in the future of our planet. And for those of you who do not know, this is a dystopian series about our Earth. It's going through different seasons, and the 5th season is very devastating. There's earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and people are just dying in masses. So the few that are trying to survive are struggling, and there's different types of people. Some can use magic to basically control Earth. Some people actually are able to control these people, and they're just regular folks as well. So there's a lot of diversity when it comes to that. And this is the 3rd book in the series, and I can't say much about the plot. So, you know, I'm not really sure what to say. I did enjoy it. There's a lot of family dynamics in this one, even more so I think that in the previous ones, but actually it is sort of family related, the series, and people are fighting for this goal. They're trying to achieve this goal. Both of the main characters are, and they're all, you know, see what the purpose and the goal is slightly differently. So of course their interests clash a bit, and we see them go in this direction in different ways, obviously. And it was a really surprising end to me for some reason, because I didn't think that it was going to end the way it did. It's also it's been a while now, so it's also slightly optimistic, I would say. The writing is great. I did enjoy it. I don't think that this trilogy is as good as people say it is. I guess it does some stuff differently than we are used to in fantasy. I guess that's great. There's polyamory, there's diversity, as I said, so that is something that you don't often see in what I would classify as, you know, classic fantasy, but not like old classic fantasy, just what today is fantasy a lot of the times. Anyways, so I did enjoy it. I listened to it, so I think that's a good way to go. But I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be picking up anything else by this author. I know that she has that whole Inheritance trilogy out, but I'm not sure. I honestly don't know right now. Then the next book that I listened to, and I'm also getting a finished copy, well, not a finished, it's been out for ages, but a paperback version of it. It's, oh, what was it called? Now I'm not gonna remember. By Caleb Carr, The Alienist by Caleb Carr. I heard about this book from Chris from Reading Roads. He came back and he talked about reading this book and really enjoying it, and I decided to check it out, and it was great. This is a murder mystery that takes place in the late 1800s, or I think it's late 1800s and not the beginning of the 20th century. And we follow this alienist, Laszlo. He's a doctor, and alienists were basically people that were sort of psychologists. They were investigating, they were you know, interested in mental issues, mental health issues, and in that time people with mental health issues were supposed to be, they called them alienated, because they were supposed to be alienated from their nature, and people that studied them were alienists. And anyways, this guy and a bunch of his, well, friends and people that he meets through this investigation that he gets entangled into, start investigating a series of murders in New York. And there's also Teddy Roosevelt, who's a commissioner of police force back then, and it's just a really enjoyable murder mystery. I have to say nothing inventive. The story doesn't do anything that we haven't seen before. We basically see how the forensic science started to get develop, how women were treated, how it's basically a murder mystery, but the way it was done, all the characters, the plot, the narration, the everyday issues that are involved, and also the atmosphere that the author manages to incorporate. It all just blended so well together that I really enjoyed listening to this story, and also the narrator is great. So if you want to listen to this book, I do definitely recommend it. And after that, I also watched the TV series, and I enjoyed that one as well. It's slightly different from the book, so even if you read the book, or even if you intend to read the book but want to see the show first, I think it's just very doable either way, and I don't think you will enjoy either less if you do it either way anyways. And right now I'm listening to the sequel, which is just as good, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think the third book is supposed to come out. It's not like a series that comes out regularly. I think there's been like 10 years or so in between these books. So but I really like the characters. They're very flawed, very diverse in their thinking, and they come from different walks of life, and they have different perspectives, and I think it's a really great group altogether. So I really love this book. Just love it. It was a great read. And the last book that I read is Blackwing by Ed McDonald. This was all the rage last year. It was a debut novel, and it's a fantasy and also start of a series. And last year I didn't read it for I don't know what reason, but this year I have an arc of the sequel, so I said it's high time that I read it, and I listened to it, and I really ended up enjoying it again. It took me a while actually to get into this one because I don't know, the beginning wasn't that interesting for me, but then it really picked up and I ended up enjoying it tremendously. So we basically follow a character who is sort of a mercenary, who works for this wizard type of person that well, he's officially working for him, but he's also working for others, I guess. And he gets sent into the misery after some people that he's supposed to catch and bring back to the town where he is stationed at. And this world is divided into the, I don't know, the country where he's living in, and then there's the Deep Kings that rule the rest of the world, the other part of the world. And in between there's Misery, which is this very inhospitable land that it's very dangerous. It's very confusing to navigate because north isn't always in the north. Things change. There's very different and dangerous types of characters or creatures living there that are just very unfriendly and get you killed. And people, when they try to escape, they run there, and it's his basically mission to capture them and bring them back. And in one of these missions he stumbles into something that he was not really meant to stumble into, and basically he gets entangled into this mess, and as he tries to figure out what's going on, things just started going crazy. And also in Misery there's this Null's, what is it called? Null's engine, which is basically the only defense that this part of the world has from the Deep Kings. And yeah, there's also different types of magic in this world, and it was just very fascinating. There were so many twists and turns in the plot and what was going on that I find it very enjoyable. Again, I listened to this one, so if you want to do that, I think it's a very good audio version of this book, and I really liked it. There's a really strong female character in it as well that I enjoyed, and I just really liked the magic that, I mean, this main character guy that we follow, which is, again, his name is, I'm terrible today with this stuff, Captain Reinhold Galhero, and he doesn't have magic, but he is sort of connected by magic to someone else, and the way they're connected is just very painful, but also very interesting, and I really enjoyed that. It was sort of, I think, inventive anyways, and I'm really looking forward to now reading book 2, so I can talk about it more. And I feel like I was really terrible with this thing today, reviewing these books. I don't know. Am I ever good? I'm not sure. But anyways, those are all fantastic books. If you want to pick any of them up, I wholeheartedly recommend them. And until my next wrap up, thank you for watching this video and see you then. Bye!